Chat with 4 goals, Fazila Ikwapoti of Uganda with 3, alongside Loza Abelo of Ethiopia with 3 goals. So the race for the Golden Boot is still open, much as we are enjoying an interesting football in as far as this 4th edition is concerned. For now, we shall be taking you back to our commentary team, Lawrence Wanika and Ron Lusulide, to take you through commentary for the next 90 minutes of the game.
Anthem of South Sudan. And now the national anthem of Zanzibar.
Challenge Cup. Ronnie, what do you make of this very sweet encounter?
Of course, interesting match it's going to be. Why? Because the first game between Ethiopia and Tanzania did end in a 2-goal draw, meaning that either side here between South Sudan and Zanzibar, if any of them find a win, trust me, it will make it interesting going into the final group games. Of course, coming into this game, Zanzibar and South Sudan have faced off once, and that came in 2019 in Tanzania. And in that game, South Sudan, that were taking part in their first Cecafa Women's Championship, did manage to emerge victorious, winning 5-0. They hope to do the same, and trust me, they have all what it takes. For Zanzibar, of course, it will also be a match they will be aiming at getting their first victory in the history of the Cecafa Women's Championship. An interesting one. It's going to be Lawrence Bonica.
Officials from Uganda, Nabada Shamira Dokas Atwaire, Dana Marunji, and Nachito Marix Nkombi would be taking us underway at any moment from now, live from the FOFA Technical Center here in Njio. That's the set. That's the Ugandan set. Of course, differing from the game we've just witnessed. In the first game they did that. So, 2-all draw between Tanzania and Ethiopia. Referees who came in from that was Burundi. And Rwanda, we are again live on FOFA TV for the Cecafa Women Challenge Cup of the year 2022. Remember, Uganda hosting this edition for the second time. And not forgetting the last edition that was held in Uganda was way back in 2016. That was won by Tanzania. And not forgetting winning it for the second year in a row, way back in Kigali 2018. And not forgetting organizing it in 2019. But of course, Kenya winning that title. South Sudan and their coach, Shilene Margaret, onto their fourth wheel system, led by the captain, Lasso Lawyer Army, today looking for another win. And the central defender, Nachiri Janet, what a very good performance in the first game, will be making his way back into the central defense position. Zanzibar, under the coach Ali Abdul Motik, also in that 4-3-3 system, aligned into this game, will be trying to make a couple of things happen again as they are yet to register their first win into this very tie. Zanzibar would be trying hard as they traveled by road from Zanzibar all the way in Uganda to try and make up a little bit of the corrections. And it will be Zanzibar will be taking us underway, and referee Nabada, the only lady awaited to blow the first whistle of the game at the FUFA Technical Center here in Njeru for the second game of the day. We'll be heading to the last games to be played starting from tomorrow, but of course we'll be having two games that we played onto the same time but different venues, as I will be informing you throughout the match day commentary live. Nabada Shamira, that is South Sudan, all the way left to right on your screen in all white, and Zanzibar for you in that sky blue and dark blue shorts, playing from right to your left.
Lawrence, this very game coming into this game, there are quite a number of changes, as South Sudan have made two changes from their lineup that did play against the Tanzania Twiga Stars, while Zanzibar have made four changes from their lineup that that lost 5-0 to the Ethiopia Lucy.
Piece of the bad throw here from the Zanzibar side, that was Wazuri Obal. We throw it again here for Bandarios Amadrio for South Sudan. A good play here from Mary Joaquin. Again, Zanzibar trying to go for in a move here. Mary Joaquin with the run, looking for chance, the very chance of the game here, into the first corner of the game. Live at the FUFA Technical Center in Njeru. 2 minutes played. It's still a 0 for South Sudan and 0 for Zanzibar. But again, Zanzibar have the beat of the corner here. Sided away down here by Uwigo Mangoma. Mary Joaquin again for the Zanzibar side. Dispossessed away Diana. Again, good defending here from Mwajuma Abdullahi. Sabahi Yusuf. Taken on by the captain Amulasu. Dawa Vai, they are down here by, that was Nachiri Jack, looked away by Mary Joaquin for Zanzibar. Still enjoying the beat of the possessions here. South Sudan. Chance again here for South Sudan, Luka Deborah. That finally here by Mwavita Moba, the central defender. Technical area here for the South Sudan side, led by the coach, that says Shilene Margaret Boysan. Again, they have at the very base of the chance here, that is Amadurio. Lays it down to Chieng Thomas. Chieng Thomas tries to cross in, again down to the hands of Zuena Yassin.
Talking about both sides, of course, Zanzibar are one of the teams that did take part in the first edition of the Cecafa Women's Championship that came in 2016. And trust me, they do have quite a number of experienced players returning in their third edition here at the FUFA Technical Center in Njeru. Looking at the squad that did take part in the 2016 edition, 4 players have returned, including experienced Mwajuma Abdullah, who is now 35 years old, and Nema Mochomo Uthman, Saba Hamis Yusuf and Mutumwa Katib Ali, a few players that have returned from the side that took part in the first edition in 2016 here at Njeru.
Quick play down here from the goalkeeper, down to the center of the park. Sabahi Yusuf, Mwajuma Abdullahi, Mary Joaquin, a touch here from Kurianteni Diana. Taken down to the center of the park, Amilasi for South Sudan. Good defending away, Agnes Milanzi going in for a 5-line back system. That is Zanzibar. On the turn here we go, Waguma looking for a chance. South Sudan 0, Zanzibar 0. It's the Cecafa Women Challenge Cup. Group B action, the second game of the day in match day number 2. Abdullahi, Mary Joaquin. Ball cleared away down here by Banados. Mary Joaquin again. We go Angoma. Intercepted. Collected away by Amelosi. Nakunga Morena not found. Good defending from Nachidija. Wangoma there for Zanzibar. It was a very heavy touch to Mary Joaquin, the player was trying to make a couple of runs into the Minas plate. Chieng Thomas for South Sudan. Good interception down here by Sewazuri Omal.
4 minutes played so far here at the FUFA Technical Center in Jeru. The Zanzibar Queens so far are showing all interest of going forward, and so far with these minutes played, they look at the most promising side going forward.
Yeah, down here by Majuma Abdullahi. Either here again from a Cheng. South Sudan looking for a chance. Look at Deborah. That's Doka Gerard again for South Sudan. Doka Gerard. Agnes Milanzi. Down to Aisha Baka for Zanzibari. One bitter player down here for Zanzibar in some bit of the pain. Going in for referee Nabada Shamira. Comes down to the player. That is shed number 8, Amina Ramadan for Zanzibar, and the medical team for Zanzibar has to come around the pitch to give some medical attention onto the player. But again, looks to be good news to the Zanzibar. You're traveling from Zanzibar to Jinja by road. Little bit of the fatigue player, but of course into the business here to match day 2 of Group B action. Ethiopia 2, Tanzania 2. It's now Ethiopia on 4 points are topping up Group B with the 5 goal difference, and again Tanzania sitting number 2 with a goal difference of 2. I was waiting for the result between these two sides. By the close of business today, would be knowing who would be topping up the group, who would be coming second, third, and of course fourth, as we'll be heading into the last game of this group that will be played on Monday.
Definitely an interesting one it is. Just like I said, after the draw between Ethiopia and Tanzania, trust me, if any side gets a win here, it will be much interesting come the final games of this Group B, because as it stands, Ethiopia lead the log with 4 points and a 5 goal difference. Tanzania sit in a second place. Could any of these teams get a result? Trust me, the last games will be so much interesting, as they will still stand a chance to get past this group.
Zanzibar on the run, that is very at good defending away. That was Joseph Esther for South Sudan national team. Have the corner again, the second corner of the game, Mary Joaquin. Starting it away, and it's to be a throw-in here for the Zanzibar national side. Mary Joaquin. Again for Zanzibar national team. We'll still be having a bit of the free kick here down around the corner area. Information coming in from the center referee Nabada. Majuma Abdullahi, the central defender, experienced player there for Zanzibar side, standing onto this move here. Could they be onto the move to score their first goal of the tournament in the Cecafa Women Championship? That is Zanzibar for you there. They're playing up against Tanzania in the last game. That will be on Monday at 4 p.m. And again, South Sudan will be taking on, that will be Ethiopia. Again on Monday, same time. But of course, we'll be changing to the venues. Mwajuma Abdullahi with the free kick. Zanzibar with a chance. Ball drops down around the goal area. Next down here to Doka Gerard. Some bit of the good defending here. From that is Joseph Esther. Then the 8 full minutes played at the FOFA Technical Center in Egypt. The Cecafa Women Challenge Cup. 8 teams vying on for the top slot and for the top prize. Remember, Kenya, the defending champions, but failing to make it away into this edition after the sanctions from the CAF and, of course, from the FIFA side imparted onto them after government intervening into the business football matters. Chance here for Zanzibar on run. Next to be Mary Joaquin, and again, seconds late, but the goalkeeper, Tutu Calda, makes the ball away, making a couple of saves into the first game they played up against. That was Tanzania, but of course, losing out onto the day.
Despite conceding a goal, to me, I thought she would have done better. Trust me, she did put up a very great performance in their first game against Tanzania. She is the reason as to why they probably conceded only 2. A great goalkeeper, trust me, she is proving to be in this tournament. Tutu Kalda Hassan Mohammed.
Don't forget to mention the likes of the Djibouti goalkeeper, who turns out to be coming in from their Ivory Coast side. Chance here for Cheng, South Sudan. Good defending away from Sabahi Yusuf. Looks to be a free kick here for... It's like to be a throwing here for a South Sudan national side for the Bright Starlets. White score into this year's edition. That will be onto the other side. That will be the Zanzibar. Shed number 4, Siwazuri Omal takes it down. Nachili Jahid, Sabahi Yusuf, again Nachili with a bit of the header. Wigo Wangoma, chance taken away from the captain. Amilasu for South Sudan. Lasso again, Diana, back to Lasu, lays the ball back to Amadurio. Amadurio looking for a Ching, a good defending away from Mwamvita. Back to Amadurio. Lucy, Amadurio again for the Bright Starlets. Cleared out of danger by Mwajuma. Goalkeeper has some bit of the time to take that ball away into the goal area, and finally Tutu Kalda takes bit of her time and again looks for Acheng. Good control down here by Diana. Diana down to Cheng Thomas. Cheng here for a South Sudan. Good defending away from Bakari Asha. Diana again down to Bakari. Intercepted away with the touch. Luca Deborah. Again, Luca Deborah tries to fire in a shot into a deflection and down to, that is Zuena Sin.
A great attempt it was for Luca Deborah, only for her effort, of course, to be somehow deflected by the Zanzibar defense. But Lawrence, talking about football development between the two nations, of course, it is still developing, but South Sudan are doing a lot to ensure their women football grows. And on that note, they've managed to do a number of things in that there are a number of courses they've previously organized, and trust me, quite a number of players that are part of this current team did take part in those courses, including skipper Ami Lasu Lauya.
This year for South Sudan national team, looking for spot here into the semi-final runaway. Goalkeeper players Zuena Yasin for Zanzibar, Doka Gerard, goalkeeper out of a line here, and that's a bit of the good defending from Doka Gerard, who had the very best of the game when they played Tanzania. Right back player Doka, and again mentioning Nashiri Janet. The captain was later substituted, Amilasu. South Sudan with imposition. Joseph Esther. Ball taken away by David Wai for Zanzibar. Onto the chase, looking for time to shoot. Chance here for Zanzibar national team side. Look to be a little bit onto the trouble, but again, blames on to this defense line, giving that time away to the Zanzibar player to shoot in from a little bit of the range. South Sudan, Makunga Morin. Again, Makunga Morin for South Sudan Bright Starlets. Coming out of the offside position here. Zanzibar player down here to around the corner of the goal here, down here into the paint. The referee has to go on to the player to, of course, assess on what is transpiring onto the player lying down onto the field here. 14, clocking onto a quarter hour played. We're live on Fufa TV. This is the Cecafa Women Challenge Cup. Remember, Uganda hosting this for the second time. And again, remember, Uganda hasn't won tested the sweetness of this very title. Remember, Tanzania and Kenya are the only teams to share the title between the 3 editions that have been played in the Cecafa Women Challenge tie.
The closest Uganda came to clinching the Cecafa Women Championship was in 2018 in Rwanda, that tournament that was played in a round-robin format. Uganda missing out on winning after getting a draw against Rwanda, leading 2-1, but in the dying minutes, of course, conceding rather a late goal, which ensured Tanzania win the trophy on a goal difference.
Goal difference of 5, and Uganda was on to that -1 goal after that draw that was, of course, played up against. That was into the state Kigali Nyamirambo. Uganda 2-2, and Rwanda forcing out to the chances to Uganda to grab with that title, and Tanzania winning for the second time. Chance here for Zanzibar. Can they make their way out? No way. Good defending here by Doka and good game reading. Doka Gerard, Diana Nachirija, Makunga Morin, Doka Gerard again. Control down here by Chiang Thomas. Tries to cross in. Control down. A little bit far away, and again a rebound here from that was player for South Sudan, Makunga Morin. One of the few goal attempts they're having into the first 16 minutes played. This is the Fufa Technical Center in Njoro, playing host to this year's edition of the Cecafa Senior Challenge Cup. Of course, hosting the Cecafa Under 20 that was taken by Ethiopia. Ethiopia are the defending champions of the Cecafa Under 20 Women Challenge Cup. Remember, Djibouti took part, but again, as South Sudan and Rwanda were not part of the Cecafa Under 20. But back again, into business, they're back, and again, Zanzibar comes into the contention to grab away chances to win this very organized tournament.
Lawrence are still talking about both sides. This is the game where everyone thinks can get positive results out of this game. And trust me, this is a huge chance for Zanzibar. It's been a long way waiting since taking part in the first edition in 2016.
Mubia from the Zanzibar side, that was a very best of the pass and pushed down to the Zanzibar player. The referee keeps onto the silence. Nachirija for South Sudan, my player to the CU Lady Cardinal side. Amadurio, good passing here from Sabahi Yusuf, trying to find Dawa. Vuai pushed away. A bit of the soft touch that came in from Doka Gerard. Diana, good turn from Sabahi. Dawa pushed away. Free kick here for Zanzibar national side. Traveling for almost 30 hours from Zanzibar to Jinja by road, and of course into the position to play 3 games in the space of only 6 days. That is Zanzibar for you. Acheng. Control down. Diana. Chance here for Acheng to shoot. Foul down, brought down. And it's a free kick for South Sudan national team. That was Luka Deborah.
Big opportunity for the South Sudan national side to break the deadlock. From that free kick, trust me, Lawrence, the South Sudan Bright Starlets could break the deadlock here. But let's wait to see what will come out from it.
Same angle, and of course, into the same area where Tanzanian central defender found the equalizer in the game that has been played in the early kick of the day. That was Kasonga Eneka, who put up a blockbuster to Takia Bagena goal and finding the base of the equalizer, grabbing away a point onto the Lucy side. So free kick through the captain, Ame Lassou for South Sudan. Can they find the back of the net for the very first time this season? Ame Lassou, the keeper, bounces down, and the collision from two players, from the goalkeeper and again from the South Sudan player. That is shirt number 18, Sarah Matthew. Zanzibar goalkeeper Zuena Hussein. Good chance here to the South Sudan side.
Big chance for South Sudan to break the deadlock, but I believe the goalkeeper would have done very well not to probably spill that ball. If she had handled it like with ease, trust me, she wouldn't be in that situation.
That was the free kick here from Ame Lassou. The goalkeeper looked to be into the position, but again, patching that ball down. Matthew was the only player around to go in for the rebound. But little did she know that she would be going into a moment of the collision with the custodian from the Zanzibar national side. And they take a little bit of the break, but again with the veils onto their heads.
Trust me, Lawrence, it is game number 8 for Zanzibar in the Cecafa Women Championship history. But out of the 7, they have never won any game. And against the Bright Starlets of South Sudan, trust me, they stand a higher chance of getting a positive result. It's been a long time of waiting ever since they participated in the first edition in 2016. With this game, trust me, if they can push harder, they have a chance to get maximum points that will be big in their history.
The draw here will see the two teams, that is Ethiopia and Tanzania, standing in for the most chances to clock onto the semi-finals, as Uganda and Burundi have only made their way to the semi-finals yesterday. Uganda beating Djibouti by 5-0. Not forgetting Rwanda losing to Burundi by 2-1. 6 points for Uganda, 6 points for Burundi in Group A. And again tomorrow we'll be having Tanzania, but that will be Uganda Burundi 4 p.m. at the Technical Center in Njero, and of course we'll be having Rwanda versus Djibouti, and on a venue that will be communicated, but again the same kick-off time, that will be 4 p.m. the last group stage games in Group A action. And of course we'll be going into Group B in Monday. That will be Ethiopia that will be taking part in those final games, and Tanzania will be playing up against Zanzibar, and Ethiopia will be playing up against South Sudan. Same time, but of course the Tanzania-Zanzibar game will be played at the FIFA Technical Center in Njero. Ethiopia-South Sudan, that will be venue that will be communicated, but again the kickoff time remain 4 p.m. for the two games. We are back into the quotation here. Cheng, ball cleared away. Sabahi Yusuf, good defending here from Anet. Some bit of the poor control, and the clearance through the half volley. Controlled down here by Sabahi. Mary Joaquin for Zanzibar. Aisha Baka. Pass here from Dawa. Nachirija intercepts, and again saving that ball away to go into that would have been a very, very good move here to the Zanzibar side, with only 23 minutes played of the first 45. It's the first half here of the FIFA Women Cecafa Challenge. Rather, Cecafa Women Challenge, I beg your pardon. That's the FIFA Women's Super League that was champions Shikopits Football Club from the Ugandan side. Not forgetting Kavala Queens becoming second. Shikopress winning the league onto that +1 goal difference. A few weeks back at the Moobs Arena, chance here again, a run here from Cheng Thomas. Cheng Thomas here for, that is South Sudan, looking for space, looking for the support. Crosses away, down here to the goalkeeper. And again, Zuwena Yassin, experienced player and the goalkeeper here for Zanzibar national side. Zanzibar lost to Ethiopia 5-0. Not forgetting South Sudan was beaten by Tanzania by 2-0 in the first game in Group B action. And again, we'll be having the very best of the derby. Tanzania versus Zanzibar. Two teams having something in common. But again, when it comes to football, we'll be trying to see who taking on to the day. Sabahi, Yusuf, we touch here, player down here for South Sudan. Looks to be Cheng Thomas. Nachirija, Anet. Sabahi again, Zanzibar with a move. Nachirija tries to defend. Joaquin was the ball back down to the goalkeeper for some bit of the support. Yasin Zuwena. Mvuba Mwavita. Swaziri Omal goes in for the clearance, deflected away, pinned down to Swaziri Omal.
No team has conceded more goals in the history of the Cecafa Women Championship than Zanzibar. From the 7 games they've played in their Cecafa Women history, they have conceded 47 goals, only to score 1 goal.
Only to score 1, conceding very many. The likes of the South Sudan, the last session played in Tanzania at the Chamazi Stadium. Uganda, of course, scoring 13 past them. And of course, grabbing with that 5-0 win. Free kick here for Zanzibar national women's side. 25 minutes played. Still a 0 between South Sudan and Zanzibar in the Cecafa Women Challenge Cup. This will be Dawa Vai. So that will be Mwavita Muba. Central defender here for Zanzibar. Looking for this set piece away. Zanzibar find the back of the net. That would be some bit of the good news to the people back in Zanzibar. Mavupa shoots away the goalkeeper. Takes the advantage. That is Tutu Kalda. For the side of the Bright Starlets. A bit of the handball here from Diana. Referee Nabada Shamira sending the two sides into the official water break here at the Fufa Technical Center here in Njiru. South Sudan 0, Zanzibar 0 in the Cecafa Women Challenge Cup.
Trust me, Lawrence, it is a game, just like I said, where every team believes they can get positive results. A fair game it is, and a 50-51, I must say, because when you look at the first 26 minutes, trust me, either sides, they haven't yet got what I may term as clear opportunities, but trust me, they are threatening to attack each other. And going forward, it is going to be an interesting game, because they believe if any of them gets positive results, they will still stand a chance of going through if they can only win their last games.
Enjoying the cooling break here, the first assistant, Dorcas Atwaire, there for you on the Zanzibar national side, officiating into the second Cecafa tournament after officiating. That was in the Cecafa under-20. That's Dorcas Atwaire. And of course, Nabada Shamira makes her way into her first game to attend as the match center referee. Nachito Malik Sukumbi and Dana Mrongi are the other officials to come from the Ugandan side, as Uganda is hosting this prestigious tournament, Cecafa. We are bound, of course, to go back to the action here at the Fufa Technical Center in Njiru. Dana, good defending from Bandas. Amadurio for South Sudan. Sewazuri Omal pushed away. From the words, South Sudan a bit of the free kick here. Remember, Uganda and Burundi are the only teams that came in from the Cecafa region to have qualified for the final African Women Championship. Don't forget that is the AUCON major tournament that will be held in Morocco. That will be 30 days from now in July. Again, Uganda Burundi having the very best of the preparations. Is acting as the match, and of course we're getting into match fitness, and the head coach will be going into naming the final traveling squad into a few days from now. Uganda going back to the final African Women's Cup Championship. But again, it's a long way to go. That's if Uganda are trying to make up some bit of the history into Morocco side there.
Trust me, Lawrence, talking about the Uganda Queen side prior to the WAFCON, it's going to be a great selection headache for coach George Lutalo, with quite a number of players yet even to come into the country from their respective clubs in the diaspora, and with a number of players still at disposal that were not a part, or that did not make the final squad that is taking part in this ongoing Cecafa Women Championship. Trust me, it is going to be a lot of squad selection headache.
Squad selection headache there for you, head into the Cecafa side after a couple of players, but again one of the players, one would say would have been into the final cut of this very Cecafa squad would have been Naomi Nagadia. But again, that selection squad you've been talking about, very lucky midfielders, on four midfielders, the likes of Hasfa Nasona make their way. MVP for the Women's Super League, Nabuma Fiona makes her way. John Nabide coming in for the under-20 side, and again to the national side. So trust me, Coach Lutalo George would be having some homework to do. That's if Uganda would yield much of the result, avoid back into the Morocco side there in the final of the AUCON tournament.
Still talking about the missing of Nagadia Naomi, the She corporate skipper who nearly quit football after missing out for 6 years due to injury, but she made a miraculous comeback, and trust me, she did put up a great performance as she guided her She corporate side to their first ever FUFA Women Super League. Big player who missed out, trust me.
Again, She corporate football club will be representing Uganda in the CAF Women Champions qualifiers to the Cecafa region side later this year in Tanzania. But again, news coming in is that Kampala Queens might be another club to join She Corporates to go and compete for that one top slot after the Kenyan League being on to that ban, and again won't be having any team that will be coming in from Kenya to their ban, and of course we're experiencing a little of the shortage. So they're coming in from the Cecafa side. Ethiopia having the very best of the active league. Uganda, active, and Rwanda have just come back for the 3-year break. And not forgetting, also Burundi might be one of the countries that will be sending in their clubs to represent them into the Cecafa zonal qualifiers. It
will be good. That's if Kampala Queens are confirmed as one of the representatives, of course, following the FIFA ban on that is Kenya. They are one of the teams that have been really playing well in the FIFA Women Super League, thus missing out on the trophy by just one goal. Trust me, they have had a brilliant season. So if they go there, trust me, it will be very good, and it will be a very good platform for their players to showcase their talent.
Exposure, trust me, Lady Doves had the very best of last edition where they represented Uganda, but of course losing out on to the semi-final tie to the Commercial Bank of Ethiopia side led by Loza Abera at the semi-final after the kicks are from the penalty mark. It's a bruise again to the player by the name of Bandas Amadurio due to the surface these two teams are playing up against. Ami Lucy, captain for South Sudan, ball taken away by Asha Baka. Sabahi Yusuf. Again Sabahi for She Corporates, looking for space. Interception away from the hardworking central midfielder Anet Nachirija. or the player that be changed the allegiance to the South Sudan national side. That is Nachirija, shot down here, taken down here by Doka Gerard. Good defending away from Zanzibar. Ashabaka, the player down here for the Zanzibar national side. Throwing here for South Sudan, Doka Gerard. Some bit of the ball for here, be going in for another chance to the Zanzibar. To be a very, very uniform tackle here from the experienced lady Mwajuma Abdullahi down to Luka Deborah.
Lawrence, hardly do you realize or see foul throws in men football, though sometimes it happens. But in this ongoing championship in Cecafa, trust me, I've realized a number of foul throws from a number of teams. But it is work in progress. Hopefully, the coaches can really teach these ladies how to throw. Rather how to make in those throw-ins, because the rate at which they are making foul throws, trust me, it is alarming.
It's alarming, and of course we'll be waiting to see how this game will be going into the corner. Second game of the day that will see either South Sudan or Zanzibar playing it out into Group B action. Player down here for Zanzibar, Deborah. Again for Zanzibar, looks down to Cheng Thomas. Mwajuma Abdullahi. Again, referee requesting the medical side to come on to check onto the Zanzibar player here. Looks to be Amina Ramadan, who is into that pain. Lanky midfielder. Gifted player here for Zanzibar national side. 10 minutes to play to the end of the first 45. You're live on Fafa TV, your home of Ugandan sport. And much more is coming your way. I'll be heading for tomorrow's ties. 2 games at the same time at 4 p.m. That will be Uganda, Burundi at the FUFA Technical Center in Injeru, Rwanda and Djibouti at a venue that will be communicated later by the close of business today as we head into the last games of the Group A action. And not forgetting Monday would be close of business in Group B action.
Interesting tie is going to be between Uganda and that is Burundi. Both teams are representing the Cecafa region in the WAFCON that will be held in Morocco. Trust me, it's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be a very, very good match for Coach George Dutalo to gauge her lads. And trust me, it will be a nice one for the fans as well to watch, because Burundi are one of the teams that have really showed very, very interesting football in this ongoing Cecafa Women Championship.
36 minutes played. No goals yet produced into this tie. As we are closing onto the corner for the first stanza at the FUFA Technical Center in Injeru. Cecafa Women Challenge Cup between South Sudan up against Zanzibar. Great game it is. Agnes Milanzi clears the ball away. Throwing here for the former Nilotic Republic. Banados Amadurio lays the ball down to Luka Deborah. Amaduria, good defending from Mwajuma Abdullahi. South Sudan 0, Zanzibar 0. You're live on FUFA TV, your home of Ugandan sport. Ball taken down here, looks to be Cheng Thomas. Running to the pain here. Looking around the corner for the first stanza. Player code that is Mwavita Moba, called by the referee, and the message is clear for the Zanzibar national team player. Referee Nabada Shamira leaves it away. Cheng Thomas standing onto this. Chance here for South Sudan from Cheng Thomas. Again, far wide here from forward Cheng Thomas. Good chance again for the South Sudan side. They're looking to put up some great efforts and find the back of the net. And of course, they would add in more effort because they know the result between Tanzania and Ethiopia went into a 2-all draw. So a win for South Sudan or Zanzibar might mean something as we are heading into last game of these group stages.
South Sudan are the only nation in this ongoing tournament that have a foreign coach in Shelen Margaret Boysen, who is a South African and former Banyana player and a goalkeeper. Trust me, with that, they are trying to ensure they get all the best from different personalities to ensure their women football grows at a very high rate. And just recently, they did have a coaching course that was conducted by Ugandan and CAF as well as FUFA instructor Magida, a Ugandan former player.
Radio for South Sudan, Banados Amadurio. Captain into the touch, Amelosu. Laid down here by Diana. Good defending and good turn here from the Zanzibar side, Aisha Baka. We saw here from the center referee Nabadashan. We have 40 minutes played, 5 remaining to the end of the first 45. Cecafa Senior Challenge Women Cup for the year 2022, live in Uganda, and second time it's been organized into the eastern part of Uganda, that is Jinja hosting at the Cecafa 2016, Cecafa under 20 last year. And again, this is an edition of the Cecafa. But of course, Uganda has won none of the tournaments despite hosting. Control down here. Amelusi looking for Diana. Zanzibar, 5-man backline trying to yield fruits as heading into the corner mark of the first stanza. Diana, cross chance again. The goalkeeper out of her line, and again goalkeeper fumbles, saving out of the corner. South Sudan looking for a chance to turn around, getting that ball away out of the field of play. Quite a good chance here for Luca Deborah, but again finding it hard to find a way out here for the Bright Starlets.
Lawrence, when you compare the match South Sudan played against Tanzania in their first match this edition and this one, trust me, you will realize something in common. They are very good playing from defense and then midfield, but their forwards are lacking. It is something South Sudan have to quickly work upon if they are to get any positive results, like it has been in the previous years, getting players from Uganda. How I wish they could come for any striker that is probably in any club here and willing to change nationality to go and probably help them and sort that goal scoring burden.
Chance here for Zanzibar. Good defending here from Anet. Sabahi Yusuf. Lasu. By Yusuf again. Diana looking for Luca Deborah, good interception. Brought back here by Bandros Amadurio. Amelusi loses it all. Zanzibar on the run, good defending away by Doka Gerard. Pressure onto the goalkeeper, that is Tutu Calda. Diana. Chance here to be a free kick here for Zanzibar national side. Very only 2 minutes to play to the end of the first 45 minutes. Yeah, into the Cecafa Women's Challenge Cup. To be free kick here for Zanzibar national women football side. Few seconds to the end of the 45 and getting on to additional few minutes. Mwavita Moba going in for a shot. Mwavita from a range. Again, a few inches wide here for Zanzibar national side. That's their playmaker there, Sabahi Yusuf. Luka Deborah. Ashabaka defends in very well. Cleared down here by Amadorio. Sabahi Yusuf. Nachirija intercepts. Nachirija down. Makunga Morin. Chance here for South Sudan to take it away. A bit of the good defending, and South Sudan have the corner. Few seconds to the end of the official time. Those are the 45 minutes live on FUFA TV.
Great defending from Zanzibar, but they have to do more to ensure that corner doesn't result into a goal for South Sudan, especially with 1 minute of additional time to end the first half.
1 additional minute. A corner here from Cheng Thomas. Did be some good news before half time here for South Sudan. Cheng Thomas with the corner. Taken down by Ashabaka. Nachirija into the run here. Free goal kick here for South Sudan national women football team. Makunga Morin missing out a chance into the first 20 minutes of the game. Taken out by Joseph Esther. The referee from Uganda, Nabada Shamira, blows at the halftime whistle at the FUFA Technical Center in Nigeria. Still goalless between South Sudan and Zanzibar at the FUFA Technical Center in Nigeria. We'll be heading to the FUFA TV command center for the halftime bit of the analysis. We'll be back with the second half. Don't go away, live on FUFA TV.
Still all square there at the FUFA Technical Center, where South Sudan is playing against Zanzibar in a match that is putting together teams that lost their first games. They mathematically have a chance to go through to the next round, but one of them must win this game and hope to win the next game to get the chance. That means only one team can mathematically have a chance, but they seem to be sizing each other up. Zanzibar not wanting to face the same embarrassment they faced against South Sudan, and of course South Sudan wanting to get one over them. Zanzibar still with 1 goal in this tournament, conceded so many. Yes. South Sudan more so the rookies in Cecafa, but they are getting many strides. The first half, we talked about so many things in the preview. What has remained constant and what has surprised you from what we were thinking, Majida?
Actually, nothing has remained constant based on what we've talked about. It's only that they have not scored. Look at all these teams, they are all attacking minded. So their game plan was, let us attack, let us score. South Sudan, for the first time, They're attacking in numbers, only that their players do not know yet how they should, like what they should do when they're in the final third of the opponents. And also Zanzibar seems to be more not defensive, but with good understanding of the game for the defenders, as like they're denying the South Sudanese like to penetrate through their defense. And then another thing that I've realized about South Sudan is that they're even trying to build up from behind, from the back, but when they reach in the middle third, they're giving those blind passes like the poor passing, whereby the Zanzibar team is intercepting and they're attacking somehow, not done as they're supposed to be. And so it's an advantage for Zanzibar, but based on the game first half, every team is attacking minded. They want to attack, So they've opened up.
The beauty about this tournament is most of the teams have players coming from a similar environment.
Yes.
You might ask if the environment is decent enough to give the team as a nation results, but the telepathy is obvious. You see the likes of Amilasu Lawia, the captain. She grew up in Kenya,
Exactly.
but she's playing in South Sudan currently, and she's the lead of that El Merrick Park.
Yes.
Then there are other players that are playing for Yei Joint Stars, and the telepathy seems to happen. But despite the fact that they have so many players on the team who are in the ranks of their highest goal scorers, the new nation has the top scorer currently is Deborah Luka Stephen. She has scored, actually Chieng Thomas has more goals. The only anomaly is that in some goals they give her the one of the other names that are on her list. She is called Chieng Thomas Manyol Riek. Some games, I think the team sheet read Manyol Riek,
Okay.
but when you add up the statistics, she has scored 5 goals, and Deborah Stephen Luka has 4 goals. The captain, Emilasu, has 2 goals.
Yes.
Those goals she scored against Zanzibar.
Yeah.
I think with that statistic, they would have wanted to get on the mark against Zanzibar, and that is the reason why I think they are rushing. And of course, having played a midfield in the first game, that is more about chasing.
Exactly.
Probably when an opportunity to pass comes, they're not so adept at
Exactly.
that. Zanzibar, they have lost games. I think their worry now is to score goals and get their first point, or if bonus comes, 3 points.
3 points.
That creates a rush situation. Who has handled the nerves better? And who do you think can actually go up a gear in terms of maybe scoring a goal or actually getting the point or points?
I still go with South Sudan. When you look at the game approach today, it is a team that came 100% now attacking minded. And they're trying to do it because they have penetrated, they have reached the final third of the opponent quite a number of times than the Zanzibar team. Only that when they reach there, they don't know what to do. Okay? So they should change. So I'm still giving an upper hand to South Sudan, but when you look at the way Zanzibar is playing, in case South Sudan opens up the way I'm seeing, at times I'm finding Anita alone now, being that they are attacking minded, everyone goes, they might get that chance and score because with them they have experience. Majuma, I think when I was playing, Majuma was playing. So that Majuma has the experience, knows where and when they should attack. But still South Sudan, when you look at the first half, they are leading and they are showing that they are the ones to score if they get a chance. They have gotten chances, but how to use them better. Improving on their passes, improving like where the opponents don't intercept passes all the time. And now I think of later, let them avoid short passes within the middle third. Then play long passes out of the flanks, though they don't have those good players who can run with the ball dribble, but try to play it wide so that the Zanzibar can open up and then they can penetrate with the pass or runs. I think Lasso this time should not limit herself. Let her go forward a little bit because she's technically good. She's one of the skillful players on that team, but she's limiting herself by always going behind because that's how they play. But today she has a chance to to penetrate and also score a goal.
Lasu's story is so peculiar. I was talking to her a few days ago, and she was telling me how it was very hard to transit from the years she spent in Kenya
Yes.
and into South Sudan. But again, how it is even hard to handle the superstar status she has attained. She eventually realized that her father was a star in South Sudan. Lawia was a very good striker, a scorer of goals, but he passed on a few years earlier. So she has that superstar status.
Exactly.
But she says she fancies to be the lead striker. But again, she comes into a country that has had very good goal scorers.
Exactly.
And because the margin is very little, you cannot actually think, because statistics are statistics. 5 goals and 4 goals still put her behind, but
yes.
those are the well-mentioned names,
Yes.
and they cannot be on the bench. So she was like, if I could play up front. And I think because the first system was them being defensive,
Exactly.
and now that transition, kind of affects, but of course they have to do something. The nature of the game is trying to learn many things, to adapt to different environments, and we are seeing this happening. Zanzibar needs to get out of that weeping status.
Exactly.
Probably get a win, because at a certain moment
and
you need to win.
They can. The way South Sudan is playing, though they are attacking minded, but they have so many errors. So in case Zanzibar uses one chance that they'll get, and I'm sure they'll get that, carefully, they can win the game. This game is 50-50.
Yeah.
However, we're giving a chance, like upper hand to South Sudan based on their coaching. They are well coached, and I think the technical team is doing a very good job.
Especially where I saw them eliminate Amina Ramadan,
Exactly.
Fouling her in a
Exactly.
challenge that is
Yes.
not bookable, but making her incapacitated. And that was the link between her and Mwajuma Abdullah. I think now Coach Haji Ali Abdul Mutik has to think about another strategy.
Exactly. So South Sudan has an upper hand of winning, but even Zanzibar, because it's 50-50, it's only that players, and now to not need even, they can even go about coaching, what the coach told them, but that in video brilliancy. Do something, like be creative at this time, and any player will be creative more than the other opponent. For sure they'll score.
Again, the goalkeeper there, Tutu Hassan, still maintaining her status. If the team can go far, I think she is a contender for goalkeeper of the tournament.
I think I even just like her behaviors.
Because the goalkeepers of those teams that are winning have not been tested a lot.
Yes.
You wouldn't think Daisy Nakaziro
No, of course.
is goalkeeper of the tournament,
no.
but she has the clean sheets.
Exactly.
So statistically, you would think so. But there are elements where you see, apart from that goal against Tanzania where she dropped the ball,
Yes.
everything about her has been perfect.
Perfect.
She's not those goalkeepers who move away from the line. I saw her at set pieces. You were scared that she's away from her goal area,
Yes.
but she sensed it like she was feeling you, and she comes back. I think mostly it's when she wants to command the defense that she strays trying to pick there. But she looks to me a very solid goalkeeper for a goalkeeper of her size.
Very solid. The height is good. The way she behaves, like carefree, laughing. She did something like, jokingly, even putting it in the goal.
Yeah.
So she's someone who is stress-free, and it's good for the team. Only that they say that those goalkeepers with clean sheet take that trophy, but I think she deserves it.
And of course, those ones that appear at the highest points in a tournament. That would be a topic for another day. I would wish to see someone from a team that has been eliminated being voted for what they have done. For starters, I know very many players who I would rate as the greatest players I've seen, but they were not in those teams that win so much. But that aspect of accolades and trophies and statistics has kind of taken away the greatness which we value in terms of talent, technique, longevity, and all that.
Exactly.
But again, what do we have to do? It's a game of opinions, and the opinion makers will always override. What do you anticipate in the second half? The weather is not so bad, but not as mild as it has been at the 4 o'clock kickoffs. There's
Yes.
still some sunshine.
Yeah.
No wonder the water break is still here.
Yes.
What do you anticipate? Who is going to run out of gas? Who is capable of raising their energy levels? What do you anticipate as these teams are trying to come back?
Because of this game, players are more attacking and they're opening up. There's space for everyone. So what I anticipate is like South Sudan should score. But again, if coaches now have read this game and understood it, in their dressing room there, they should tell these players to open up, like to be free. To be free. There are spaces. When you look at what South Sudan played against Tanzania and what they are playing, they have open spaces. When you look at Zanzibar, how they are playing, they're giving spaces to South Sudan. So it is now, I think, it's individual brilliancy. If that one player or two players from each team does something unique, like from anywhere, any of those teams can score. But still, I look at South Sudan to play better, and Zanzibar using their experience to overcome South Sudan.
The greed in being a football fan is the fact that we all need to see goals. I don't think if we see a goal from either side, the other side will be capable of equalizing.
I don't know.
So the neutrality in me is feeling that the obvious result should have been a draw, so that each team can get a point to register in their statistics. Let's see what can transpire in the second half as we go to our commentary team.
Welcome back for the second half here between Zanzibar and South Sudan. Of course, the first half ending goalless. Let's see what will happen in the second half here at the FUFA Technical Center in Anjeru. Both sides are winless, having lost their first games. Who will come up victorious? We await to see in the last 45 minutes as we wait for it to get underway. We are still awaiting for the second half to get underway.
The FUFA Technical Center in Nigeria again. Nabada Shamira will be taking us for the last part of the game today. Still South Sudan and Zanzibar are still goalless as it's standing here, the FUFA Technical Center in the eastern part of Uganda. And of course, the two sides will be going in for the 3 points for the 45 minutes. Again, in white, South Sudan for the second 45. Not forgetting that sky blue and black shirts for Zanzibar. But surprisingly, the veils. Ronnie, what do you make of the second last part of this game? The sides looking for the 3 points. But again, a good defensive sides here from the two, that is South Sudan and Zanzibar. And of course, remember, Tanzania is on 4 points, Ethiopia 4 points. A draw here would grant Ethiopia and Tanzania the highest chances of going to the semi-finals.
Definitely coming into this game, like we did anticipate, it is a game where either sides believed that they could get a maximum points. It is a game where all players believe they are better than the other. Trust me, Lawrence, just like the first half was, with a lot of defensive mechanism deployed by either sides. This second half, just like Coach Magda did hint about it in the first half analysis, trust me, it will need individual brilliancy. It will need a lot of teamwork if either of the sides is to come up victorious. But interesting, it's going to be.
Looks like Zanzibar would be going in for a change, but again, we're waiting to go back to business in Jinja here. Uganda and Burundi through to the semi-finals. Rwanda will be playing for the Pride. Their last game they'll be playing, that will be tomorrow up against Djibouti. And again, improvement in the Djibouti side. 2 changes here for South Sudan are waiting to come on. Shirt number 12 and shirt number 18 will be coming on for the South Sudan side. That will be some bit of the good news. And again, Mariam Lasuba will be coming in. And of course, the likes of Mary Dawa, Mako, with other players will be coming back. We'll be back to the business here. And again, South Sudan have only 45. And again, the same applies to Zanzibar with only the 45 of this game to either make things happen and make things hard for the Lucy and again for the Trigger Stars of Tanzania. We're underway and we're back to business. Zanzibari now looking a little bit fresh, But again, the same applies to the Cheng Thomas here for South Sudan. Turning away, that is Luka Deborah. Luka Deborah tries to cross in, blocked away, and it's again a bit of the throw in here. Again, changes are becoming again at any time from now. Remember, today we're having the game between Algeria and Uganda in the African Cup of Nations qualifiers at 10 p.m. Algeria will be versus Uganda, and then we'll be going back to business next week on Wednesday at 10 the Senway Stadium, when Uganda will be locking horns with Niger. That will be match day 2 of the African Cup of Nations qualifier. 3 in here for South Sudan. Is waiting for the two changes, but of course not ready enough. We'll be going back to business. Bandrios Amadrillo.
Of course, Lawrence, the two players getting ready to come on for team South Sudan. That is a shot 8 in Mariam Dawa Makodan and Mariam Lasuba. They both turn up for Yei Joint Stars in South Sudan and are both midfielders.
Corner kick here for South Sudan. Deborah, header, controlled away, shot down to Zuena Yassin. A bit lacking of the energy. As the goalkeeper experienced Zuena Yassin. Not conceding today in the 46 minutes played. Again, the two cheers are ready to be brought to the pitch here for that is South Sudan. Deborah, Luka, good defending here from Mwambita Muba. Saban Yusuf, head away by Agnes Milanzi. Taken down here by Amadrio. Swazuri Umal. Getting back to Ashabaka. Some bit of the clumsy defending, and then the handball here. This could be a chance here for Zanzibar. Again, that was Joseph Esther for South Sudan national team. The captain there, Lucy Amela Surada. Good game reading it was, but of course leaving it away to an advantage to the Zanzibar national team side. Again, having the best of the free kick through a set piece. Can they find number 1 through this set piece? With a bit of the chance, with only 4 minutes played of the second 45. Zanzibar, new player here. Fida Ali, shed number 7. Brought to the pitch here to create some bit of the chances. Mary, short here into far away. Good chance again for Zanzibar. Looks to be a little bit of the 50-50 game running. Zanzibar and South Sudan.
50-50 game it has been right from minute 1. Why? It's because of the fact that either side believe that if we are to get a maximum points, this is the game we have to use. And trust me, when you try comparing both sides, despite Zanzibar falling 5-0 to South Sudan in the 2019 edition, trust me, with their side now, there is a lot of much improvement. That is why it is 50-50 right from minute 1.
Chance here for South Sudan. Cross coming in from Cheng Thomas. In a way down here, the FOFA Technical Center in Injuru. Two sides looking for the first goal of the tournament here in the Cecafa Women Challenge Cup. Remember, this is match day number 2 of Group B action. It's either Zanzibar or South Sudan, Tanzania or Ethiopia that will be making it onto the semi-finals of this edition of the Cecafa Women Championship. Out of Group B, winner Group A will be taking on second Group B, and second Group B will be taking on, winner Group A will be taking on a second Group B, and winner Group B will be taking on second Group A into the semi-finals of the 8 teams that we are confirmed to participate in this year's edition. But again, not having the defending champions, Kenya, due to the FIFA and CAF sanctions, and remember Sudan also missing out onto this, not active to the women's side, that is Sudan, and of course Eritrea not making it away for this
Substitution
tournament.
for Zanzibar, shot
Some
19,
countries to mention,
Dawa
missing
Boy
out, not forgetting
is replaced
Somalia,
by shot
also
21,
country
Saada
with
Said.
more of the work onto
And
the
substitution
women
for South
football
Sudan.
side. Uganda, Tanzania, Ethiopia, and not forgetting Burundi, taking it onto the top level from the Cecafa region side to the women football affairs rather.
And shot 10,
Remember in 2021, this Cecafa Women Championship wasn't played as it was supposed to be hosted in Djibouti, but because of lack of facilities in form of stadiums, that is why it was cancelled. This very year, trust me, it was also in line to be cancelled, but because Uganda Crescent Cranes had qualified for the ALCON and so is Burundi, a retreat that was held in Arusha by Cecafa. Following that retreat, of course, it was confirmed that this Cecafa Women Championship was to run. Thus, Uganda are quickly organizing it.
Uganda quickly organizing it. A chance here down here for to the goalkeeper Zuwena Yasin. Looks to be in the bit of the short holidays here. And again, the same applies to Tutu Calda. A little bit of the change into the performance, the zeal from the South Sudan side that played up against Tanzania despite losing, but of course they shown that little bit of the urgency into that game. Chance here for South Sudan. Can they make it on? Chenga Thomas, a good defending, one foul down, and trust me, the referee again says no way, but again there was some bit of the little contact, but not as strong as it is anticipated to go in for a 12-yard kick here.
Trust me, Lawrence, on any other day and on any other time, trust me, that would somehow have been a penalty. But let's first see from the slow motion.
Good move here from that was Luka Deborah onto this move that came in from that was Mamvita Moba. Referee Nabada Shamira felt like that was a little bit soft onto Luka Deborah. Cleared away. Aisha Baka. Ball bounces down. Chance here for Zanzibar. Can they make the number one? Chance again. Zanzibar. Good defending away. Good game from Joseph Esther. Bados Andrio. Cleared down here by Joseph Esther. Siwazuri. Deborah Luka. Get out of danger here from the Zanzibar. Mwajuma Abdullahi. Bandas Amaduyo. Coming down to this move here for the South Sudan national side. Again, for a bit of the control. Looking for the first win into this year's edition. You are preparing for the final ALCON tournament. Some bit of the time, but of course, the players playing the professional way would be making their way onto the Uganda preparations ahead. The likes of Najamba Fauzia, not forgetting Tracy Jones Akirol, and some bit of the players. South Sudan, can they find number one? Should remember the goalkeeper saves here. What a chance it was for the bright Starlets.
Big save, of course, from the goalkeeper to deny the Bright Starlets their first goal. Just like we said, Lawrence, anyone from this encounter can emerge victorious. It's moments that are going to count. And trust me, as we go on, any side can win this game. It is not a game that you're saying this one has a lot of chances, but anyone can just win it for moments.
Moments here from South Sudan. Controlled away. Some bit of the pressure from Ami Lasso. Again, Ami Lasso, Zanzibar losing possession. Very good chance again for the Zanzibar national side. Again, that was the move here from Luka Deborah, shooting from the bit of the short distance. And the goalkeeper down saved that challenge onto the South Sudan side. That would have been a different scoreboard. But of course, that was a good save from Zuena. And again, South Sudan moving it away. Tanzania from Makunga. Morin, player down, that is Chieng Thomas. And again, Thomas Chieng shoots away onto the block. The referee says no way. That could be some bit of the handball here from South Sudan move here, but referee Nabada looks to be saying nothing about this. But of course, a very, very good challenge from the Zanzibar side in the first 5 minutes. South Sudan proving to be some bit of the launching on the moves here to the Zanzibar side, and again claiming for the penalty, and the keeper saving. And down here, the game is still goalless for the so far the minutes played at the FUFA Technical Center in Egypt. Sunny here and sunny evening as we expecting another cooling break into this game. Second half is on and will be live on FUFA TV, the home of Ugandan sport. Asha Baka for Zanzibar. Maureen passing here for South Sudan, looking for a chance. The game's winner, the savior, Mavuta Muba. Good turn away here from Doka Gerard. Again, Zanzibar lucky enough the players to stood to the ground. Takes up Sabahi Yusuf, looking for Afida Ali. It's a bit far from the player, names of Aching Thomas, the captain. That was substitute way back. Good dribble. From Thomas and to the block here in a different and critical angle. A bit of the good defending from the Zanzibar side. Heavy pass again down to the hands of the goalkeeper, performing well into the last 10 minutes play. The goalkeeper Zuena has seen so far, one would say she's the woman of the match, but of course the game is still on as it was last game that was played. That saw Tutu Calder putting up a very good performance when South Sudan lost to Tanzania, but again Tutu Calder giving out Tanzania a very, very cheeky goal. Chance here for Zanzibar. Fida Ali for Zanzibar. Good defending away down here by Bandas Amadurio.
Trust me, Lawrence, South Sudan Bright Stars proving to be more hungrier in the last minutes. They want to score that goal. They need to score that goal, trust me, if they are to stand any chance of going past the group. Just like she did in the first game against, that was Ethiopia. The Zanzibar custodian in Zuena Yasin is so far the reason as to why probably the scoreline is still at a 0-0. But otherwise, South Sudan are proving to be more hungrier in this encounter in the second half.
Again, Zanzibar have the bit of the corner. Haven't yet scored through a set piece. And again, here they stand. The chance to take it away. Corner for Zanzibar. Goalkeeper punches. Not far away from the danger zone. Joseph Esther clears. Again, Dawa Voi with a bit of the defending here. Evening at the FUFA Technical Center in Njeru for the Cecafa Women Championship Challenge. Doka Gerard. Again, Doka Gerard for this move. We're going in for the changes here for it to be a South Sudan who are making into this change. Looking for something into this game. A player brought into the pitch here for South Sudan side.
Replaced by shirt 19, Tony Wani.
Sarah Matthew paves way here for Samuel from the Bright Starlet side. Throwing again for Dako with that Doka Gerard. Doka takes it heavily here and down to Zuena. Goalkeeper Zuena Yasin for Zanzibar. The Cecafa action, match day 2. Yeah, into Group E action. Uganda tomorrow versus, that will be Burundi, 4 p.m. at the FUFA Technical Center in Njeru. And again, the same time, we'll see Djibouti taking on Rwanda at a different venue. But again, we'll be having the two games starting at the same kickoff time. Ching Thomas, a captain now for the vice captain for South Sudan, after the player was substituted by the names of Amilasu. Thomas Cheng would be standing on this free kick. That's a piece here for the Bright Starlets, looking for a chance. Vibolia and South Sudan with the chance here, and again the goalkeeper standing into their way. That was so close for the Bright Starlets.
That was so close, Lawrence, but trust me, this custodian, Zuena Yassin, is a big deal. Trust me, she is the reason, just like I've just said, why this game is still at a 0-0. Otherwise, if she wasn't her, trust me, South Zanzibar would be trailing.
Just again for South Sudan, chance taken away. The clock is ticking, and of course, South Sudan are trying to grab away as it was in the 2019 Cecafa when they beat Zanzibar, but of course they're back now. Zanzibar, a much better improved side, but of course playing up against a South Sudan Bright Starlet side, which looks to be also in the same way as the Zanzibar side. The referee, that is Nabadash Shamira, has some bit of the information. It looks like Zanzibar would be giving us another change, and the player making their way to the opposite side of the playing venue. Change here for Zanzibar, 62 minutes played. Zanzibar 0, South Sudan 0. It's the FUFA Technical Center live on FUFA TV, home of Ugandan sport. Don't forget to be streaming live on the official social media FUFA YouTube channel for this very game. And of course, since we started the Cecafa Senior Main Challenge Cup, for all the games played, they've been live on FUFA TV. Not forgetting, much more is coming into Ugandan sport. Chance here for South Sudan to cross, brought down here, goalkeeper again, takes the ball away. Riziki Muhammad, player brought on for Amina. Doka. South Sudan again with a bit of the chance, looking for time to cross, and South Sudan trying to pull that ball away. Bit of the deflection. Have the corner to take it on here.
Again, the Bright Starlets are coming closer to finding the back of the net. That would have been goal number 1 from this encounter, but they still have a chance from the corner.
Corner here for the Bright Starlets. Cleared away, but not far. Dawa. Down to Cheng, deflected, intercepted. 3 here for the Bright Starlet. Bandas Amadrio. Good chance here for Luka. Again, deflected away into another corner. Looking a bit and fresh into the last 20 minutes. South Sudan. Support coming in from the fans here. That is Cheng Thomas. With the corner here for South Sudan. A chance here, the header over the bar. What a chance. And a golden chance here for the Bright Starlets again.
Bright Starlets are continuously knocking onto the door of the Zanzibar Queens, but trust me, they are getting closer. If they can continue attacking, who knows, the Zanzibar defense might succumb to the pressure and concede their first goal in this encounter.
Good chance again for South Sudan. Again, missing that by a whisker. Shot number 15, that was Makunga Morin for South Sudan. Zanzibar have a move to take it on here. Hafida Ali turns around, energy, pull down Doka Gerard. Dawa, Zanzibar. Goalkeeper clears Zuena Yassin. Head back Doka Gerard. Makunga Morin. Give it back into Makunga Moran Zuena takes the bit of her time. She's so far the savior to the Zanzibar side into this game. Ball bounces down. Chance here for South Sudan. Can they find the back of the net? No! And cleared away. And again a chance to the bright starlet. When will South Sudan find the back of the net? The question posed at this moment of time.
Honestly, I can't really tell when they will find the back of the net. They are getting every chance, and that one to me was the best chance. It is the chance they would probably have used to put the ball behind the back of the net. But once again, even after custodian Zuena beaten, the defender came to Xavier.
Corner here for South Sudan. A chance on the rebound here, and again, that's so close. Something and something might not be right to the bright side. That is, those are 5 chances in the space of only just 2 minutes here for the bright starlets. A chance again, and again wasted.
What could be in the goalpost of Zanzibar that is denying the bright starlets from finding the back of the net? They are creating chance after chance, but trust me, something must be in between this goalpost of Zanzibar. I just don't know why they are not scoring, Lawrence.
66 minutes played. That's the bit of the corner again. They have only 24 minutes to play. Can they find the back of the net? South Sudan with a chance here, looking for a Cheng. And again, a Cheng standing alone down here. A Cheng controls. A Cheng again crosses. Chance here for, and a chance onto the stanchion. Oh my. Another great chance for the bright starlets. Wasted. That could have been a classic goal from the captain, Cheng Thomas. But again, failing onto the mark.
Classic goal it would have been had it across the line. But trust me, Lawrence, yet again, the bright starlets miss out on finding the back of the net. They will need Jesus Christ. They will need the mercy of Jesus if they are to find the back of the net here at the FUFA Technical Center in Njeru.
Get the game down. A Cheng again for the bright starlets, controlled away by Luka Deborah. That's been one of the match I've witnessed in this edition. There are a couple of opportunities created by the South Sudan side, but are yet to score a goal naturally. Doka the other way from danger. Ashabaka Nachirija standing into the way. Nachirija down here to the captain. Thomas with the poor bit of the control.
Talking about South Sudan, they are one of the new sides in women football. Of course, with the bright starlets coming up in 2011 after South Sudan becoming independent from Sudan. Of course, in 2012, they did become part of CAF, and still in the same year in May, they got a full membership from FIFA, and they have so far played in quite a number of games, with their first international match coming on, and rather coming in 2019 in the Cecafa Women Championship, losing 9-0 to Tanzania before getting their first win against Zanzibar. 5-0 it was.
Padrios again, Luka Deborah out of the by Mwajuma Abdullahi. Padrios taken down by Ashabaka. Pressing hard here. That is the bright starlets here for South Sudan side. Amadurio launched away, cleared away by Mwajuma. Nachirija controls. Nachirija finds Dawa. Afid Ali. He ball down to the goalkeeper. It's about the fumble again, collected away by Zuena. Yes,
Great goalkeeping from Zuena. At the moment she saw the ball was up in the air, she didn't wait for it to come, so rather to bounce, thus coming quickly to tame it.
Doka Gerard for South Sudan. Makunga Morin. Get ball down there. That's the FUFA Technical Center. Referee sending in the two teams to another official water break. into this game. It's still goalless between South Sudan and Zanzibar. We're into the Cecafa Women Challenge Cup for the year 2022. And remember, Uganda hosting. That's the cooling break there for you due to the hot temperatures into the day's evening.
As we head into for another water break with just 20 minutes to play, trust me, Lawrence, the first half looked to be 50-50. But trust me, the second half is proving to be a one-sided game with the Bright Starlets getting attack after attack.
It was a game of 2 halves into the first half, but of course, the second half proving to be something different. Referee Nabada calls on the two teams to be back onto the pitch for the last 19 of full minutes of this game. As expected, this could be something to the two, that is Ethiopia and Tanzania. Let's see if a team is tying for a draw. Handing in Ethiopia and Tanzania another chance to make it into the semi-finals. Good touch there from Sabahi Yusuf. It's the Cecafa Technical Center here in Njeru, playing host to this year's edition of the Cecafa Women Championship tie. Tomorrow and Monday we'll see the two groups engaging into the last match days. So match day number 3 will be giving you one game live on FIFA TV. Not forgetting, we'll be giving you the updates that will be coming in from the other game, as we'll be experiencing 2 games kicking off at the same time at 4 p.m. Not forgetting on Monday. But of course, at Tuesday and Wednesday will be going in for a rest day and coming back for the semi-finals. On Thursday, 2 games on that day, a rest day on Friday, and the final will be played on Saturday at the Cecafa Technical Center in Njeru. It's the Cecafa Women Challenge Cup. Bandas Amadurio defending in very well. Asha Baka comes in for the Zanzibar side. A good defender again for Amadurio. Amadurio leaving it away to Asha Baka. 17 to play. Zanzibar cooling down the temper. Baka crosses. Zanzibar with the chance. Poor communication, the goalkeeper takes the chance away. That was 2-2. Calda standing into the holiday here. Not on the receiving end as it was in the game they played Tanzania. Dawa. South Sudan again. The move. The big ball down there by Dawa to Cheng Thomas. Ethiopia 2, Tanzania 2. The first game that was played, the Cecafa Technical Center in Njeru at 1 p.m. 2 sides sharing into the spoils. The 4 goals, beauty of the 4 goals scored onto the day in the first game played. Leaving it away to Loza Abera to go on to 3 goals. Fazila Ikwa put for Uganda 3 goals. Again, Nyonkuru Sandra from Burundi on 4 goals, the top scorer for this tournament. Poorly executed here from Amadurio. Nachidi Janet takes it down here. Ball bounces down. South Sudan to move there. Taken on again. Luka Deborah shoots far from a range. And again, a chance here for the Bright Starlets.
Of course, the Bright Starlets are continuously going on to squeeze for a goal. But Lawrence, it might not be the result they will want. But trust me, just in case this game ends in a stalemate, it will be very, very massive for the Zanzibar Queens. Why? It will be their first ever point in the Cecafa Women Championship. from game 8. Out of all the 7 games they have played, they have never won any match. So trust me, just in case they pick up this point, it will be big in history of their women football.
Free kick for Zanzibar in just right in the center of the park. Tutu Kalda. Got an hour to play to the end of the night. Advantage down here to Chen Thomas. Chen Thomas crosses. Goalkeeper. And the goalkeeper collects the ball away. And the mistakes have been collected. Coming to the players to calm down for the remaining few 14. That was a very good cross from Cheng. Again, good game reading from Zuena. Doka. South Sudan. Trying to cross to Big Ear. Dawa. Chen Thomas. Looking for space. Space created and good defending by Dawa. South Sudan knocking to the door, but the door isn't yet open. Three nearby Bandas Amadorio. Chen Thomas back to the left back player. Time is running out for South Sudan and Zanzibar. Just taken down here by Chen Thomas.
Trust me, Lawrence, there is quite a lot of improvement from a number of teams basing on the previous games they had played. When you look at the match between Tanzania and South Sudan, the last match they had met in 2019, Tanzania beat South Sudan by 9-0. In this very edition, the game did end at 2-0. Uganda versus Djibouti. Uganda, when they last met against Djibouti, they beat Djibouti. It was 13-0. In this edition, the game ended 5-0. Now talking about the game we are just witnessing right about now, the game between South Sudan and Zanzibar. The last time they met in 2019, that game did end in a 5-0 loss to Zanzibar. Right about now, with less than 15 minutes to play, it is still a goalless. Quite a big improvement in those nations.
Blocked away by Luka Deborah. Dawa onto the chase. Here for South Sudan. Gerard. Doka Gerard. Doka Gerard tries to cross at a corner. Corner here for South Sudan. Chance here to take it on. Did be moment they've been waiting for. Well executed and throw back. Now again, Doka Gerard. Crosses. Chance here for South Sudan and little bit of the heavy ball. Chances have been created and of course chances have been squandered to the Bright Starlet's side. There have been some very good news. The people way back in Juba, as we're following in from Zanzibar and the Cecafa Unit Lodge and overseas. This is the YouTube Afufa official channel. Good dribble. Look at Deborah. Dira shoots onto the block. Zanzibar defending in very well. Amadurius. Touch here from Thing. Chance here for Deborah. Ball bounces and again a chance. South Sudan and again they can't score. Cleared away from danger. Wambita Mumba. Badurius. Nachirija and it. It's a very good chance for Luka Deborah. Good defending from Agnes Milanzi. Dawa. Everybody up from Dawa. 10 minutes to play. South Sudan and 10 minutes up for grabs to these two sides. South Sudan 0, Zanzibar 0. One of the most exciting games for this edition. Dawa get a chance. Squandered here. The passes here will be going in for, I would say, South Sudan lacking at that late in the center of the park to fire in a very heavy shot, likes of Nalujai to the making, likes of a couple of players who can Loza Abera, Asros Nanga read it, firing in from the distance. This could be another good solution to this. It's quite a chance here for the Bright Starlets.
Definitely, one of the things they really have to work upon is their striking, rather their forwards, because when you look at their goalkeeper, Tutu, she is doing very well. When you look at their defense, they have been very fantastic, and their midfield as well. But when it comes to the forward line, trust me, that is where they lack. And with their South African gaffer, Brooklyn, available.
Chance here for South Sudan. Can they find the back of the net? And finally, South Sudan break the deadlock. I saw this coming, and the player by the name of Luka Deborah finds the back of the net and sending Jeru fans into the happy moment. Celebrations, Bright Starlets 1 and Zanzibar 0.
The Zanzibar defense has finally been unlocked after numerous and constant attacks. I saw this coming, and trust me, South Sudan have got a very, very important point that is going to put them, that is going to give them hopes of probably going further in this tournament with just 8 minutes to play. Trust me, South Sudan, just like they did against Zanzibar in the 2019 edition, they are heading in for another win that would be their second ever win in the Cecafa Women Championship.
And trust me, I know Coach Majida is the happiest because of the works she did into the Bright side, and now the fruits have been yielded. It's Sudan 1, Zanzibar 0. 8 to play at the FUFA Technical Center in Njeru.
What a way to see the girls. What a way to see the ladies. You really have a big hand into their career. And of course, that is Coach Nantanda Magda.
Referee there. That is a referee coming in from Uganda. And only going to the proceedings. I'll be going back to business here in the final 7 minutes to play. That is Hafida Ali, as it was in 2019. It still stands that as South Sudan have the very big edge, and those are 6 goals considered by Zanzibar when they're playing up against a South Sudan side. In the 2 games they played, in the 2, of course, that is the Cecafa competition ties. And not forgetting, time is still there for the Bright Starlets. Dawa, this could be another chance here to take it on. Looks to be a corner, but again, the referee says no way. That would be a goal kick here for that is the Zanzibar side. The goalkeeper to be a little bit tired, and of course make a couple of saves, but finally the deadlock was broken into the 81st minute. Dawa there for you, providing it away to the striker Luka Deborah, and Luka Deborah puts the ball at the back of the net. Back to business. Amadurio against South Sudan. The bit of the run here from Chema Thomas. Chen Thomas looks to time to cross. Back to the back player Amadurio. Amadurio crosses again. South Sudan in the bit of the touch here from the knee. And again, miss chance again by a whisker.
Trust me, Lawrence, Zanzibar were just a few minutes from getting that first historical point in their career. But trust me, right about now, as things look like, they might have to wait a little longer if they are to pick up their first ever point in the Cecafa Women Championship.
Playing up against Tanzania on Monday at 4 p.m. in the last game of the group stages. That would be another game to watch. That would be a derby actually, as it was yesterday between Rwanda and Burundi in the same competitions. And Ethiopia will be playing up against, that is, as South Sudan, and they'll be needing less other than a win. If South Sudan beat Ethiopia in the last game they play, they will be to the semi-finals. But of course, football is a funny game. Fida Ali here for Tanzania. Ball taken down here by the central defender Joseph Esther. Good defending guy from Sabah Yusuf. Hafida Ali losing the possession. Joseph Esther. Mary Dawa. Nachirija Anet. Chasing onto that ball 2-2. Calda. Leaving it away. We're going to having the very best of the substitution here for looks to be South Sudan. Makungu coming in for Apai. Change there for the Bright Starlets.
Substitution for South Sudan. Shot 15
Congo
Makunga
to be
Amos Joseph
tired.
is replaced by shot 13 Apai Abbas.
Few minutes to play, 4 minutes to play actually into the official time. We'll be going in for official additional time at the FOFA Technical Center in Njuru. No moments wasted and no time wasted as it was in the last game that was played into the early kick of the day. It's the free kick down here by Bandas Amadurio, leaving it to Joseph Esther. Joseph Esther again for South Sudan. Zanzibar. Moba. Nachirija clears. Chance again. Looking for number 2. Luka. Deborah. Keeper saves. Onto the feet here. Chance again for Bright Starlets. That could have been 2. That would have been sealed the 3 points into the contention for the semi-finals. But again, the goalkeeper's winner onto the day, saving that ball. A great chance again for the Bright Starlets.
A great chance for the Bright Starlets to double their lead. But trust me, the goalkeeper's winner, just like she was in the first game when they lost to Ethiopia, she has done the same, pulling off a number of amazing saves. How did that fail to enter? You never count a goal before it goes past Zuena. One of the best goalkeepers, Lawrence, for me, in this Cecafa Women Championship.
Not forgetting to mention Dumbia for Djibouti. Nevertheless, conceding a couple of goals, but of course, making a couple of saves. And of course, Tutu Calda making a very great performance in the 2 games played. Giving away a goal up against Tanzania and into this game, collecting a bit of the mistakes. And as 7 minutes played, Tutu Calda hasn't yet conceded a goal in this very game.
Had it been that mistake from the referee, trust me, at this moment, Tutu would be counting 1 goal conceded. Trust me, Lawrence, because that first goal, after seeing a number of replays, you will agree with me that it did cross the line.
Banos Amadurio. Again, Banos Amadurio takes the ball away. Joseph Esther, the captain, that is Chien Thomas. 2 minutes to play. Mary Dawa. Luka Deborah. Genzuena has no time to waste. Pushed out that is Luka Gerard for South Sudan national side. Get the free kick here for the Bright Starlets. Doka Gerard. Chance there for the side to take on the 3 points for the day. Controlled away, Mary Dawa. Again, Mary Dawa for South Sudan. Tries to go in for a shot in from a range. Again, Doka Gerard crossed away. Chance here for South Sudan, Zanzibar. Again, the referee Navada begs for the ball after that touch. Again, it will be another restart of this game, but of course, an advantageous move here to the Zanzibar side. Few seconds to the end of the official 90 minutes. This is FOFA TV, your home of Uganda's sport. Bandos Anadrio. 2 minutes of additional time. It's the FOFA Technical Center in Njuru.
So by the time,
South Sudan have a free kick here to take. Cheng Thomas will be launching it away in the forbidden part. Cheng Thomas, South Sudan, ball bounces. Mary Dawa. Good defending away.
Lawrence, South Sudan are just less than 1 minute from getting out of this edition Cecafa Women Championship, unless something more than a miracle, unless Jesus comes back, but otherwise they are heading back to Zanzibar.
That is Zanzibar 1-2. This will be traveling by road from Zanzibar to Jinja, and again a point could have been something that have paid for the efforts that have been put in from this team. But of course today, South Sudan looks to be a little bit improved into this year's edition. And trust me, this group would be turning out to be a competitive one. Chance here, last chance of the game for the South Sudan side, Mary Dawa. Mary Dawa again for South Sudan, ball taken down. Mwavuba. Fida Ali. Looking for Fida Ali, cleared away by Nachidija, not far. Doka Gerard misses. Good defending away from Doka Gerard. Nachidija waiting for this move. Count them there, Acheng. Thomas. Frida Ali for Zanzibar. Second to play. Ball down to the hands of the goalkeeper. Referee looks on to Hawach Nabada. Shamira blows the final whistle to end the proceedings of this very game. Group B action that see South Sudan grab up 3 points of this year's edition of the Cecafa Women Challenge Cup. Full time at the FUFA Technical Center in Njeru. South Sudan 1, Zanzibar 0.
Luka Aloronga.
Well, what a perfect game this particular evening between Zanzibar and South Sudan. Of course, South Sudan getting off the mark with a hard-fought 4-1-0 victory over Zanzibar. And of course, Zanzibar, that the result means they are automatically out of the championship. They can't even go past the group stages. The only thing they can manage is getting 3 points in their final game of the tournament. Ismail is here with me. Ismail, are you shocked with the results, or are you shocked with the performance from any team? What could be your post-match review of the game?
Well, a fair result for both teams. South Sudan picking their first win in this competition, and then for Zanzibar limiting the damage against South Sudan is a massive improvement to them. That shows how they have made progress in their structures. I'm sure a coach must be happy after this game because they started well in half time. They could connect a few passes going forward. They could even get a goal because they were better team in the first half. South Sudan in the half time, they were behind the ball perhaps, and then the second half, the coach did the right substitutions, introduced shot 8, Luka Dawa, improved them going forward. They started getting concentration in midfield. They started creating a few chances, chance after chance, chance after chance, until they got that well-deserved goal through Stefan, and now they have a chance to make it the semi-finals going into the last fixture.
Well, according to the way South Sudan has played, they had a promising performance against Tanzania. Despite losing by 2-0, they didn't disappoint. It was the result that I expected. I expected them to win. What do you think as they prepare to play their final game of the tournament against Ethiopia on Monday?
Yeah, they will pick inspiration from this match. They have been able to get the 3 points, and now I'm sure the coach is going to go back to the drawing board, check a few mistakes they have done defensively, and now that they can go forward, because that's what we wanted to see from this game, what they can do as far as getting forward. I'm sure he's got the right combinations now. He knows what the players need to do to get a result in the final game, perhaps maybe to go to the semi-final. But I think 3 points for them in this competition is a massive improvement, given the fact that in their recent outings they have been conceding so many goals, but now they can try to build the ball and get those much-needed points. I think it's a very massive. They will go with motivation into the next game.
Well, thank you so much, Ismail, and that is it. For now, that has been the Cecafa Senior Women's Championship right here at the FUFA Technical Center in Jeru. More action will be coming live tomorrow on FUFA TV. Uganda will be playing against Burundi in a game where one team will be fighting to finish on top, the other one will be coming second. And of course, we shall be expecting another game tomorrow between Rwanda and of course the team that is known as Djibouti. For now, let's take you back to studios for post-match analysis, and it is a goodbye from me and the entire production team in Jeru.
Goodbye to you too, Abdul Salam. That's the end of today's edition of Games. Group match between South Sudan and Zanzibar goes to South Sudan. Very soon, every time you mention a match between South Sudan and Zanzibar, they will be saying, Bo. Aniago be a Bo. All the points South Sudan have gotten in their career now are through Zanzibar. Zanzibar have halved, even more actually, the deficit in goals. Today they have conceded 1. I think they are also improving in their own way, but they need a lot of homework to do to try and play catch up, because right now South Sudan is jumping in the pecking order, and that is a result of a deliberate attempt to technically upgrade their game, and it has shown in the game with, of course, Deborah Steven getting equal on the goals scored with Cheng Thomas, 5 goals for the national team there. Second half, much more like you predicted. In my heart, I would have thought a draw would help both sides and soothe their egos, but I think the win helps South Sudan more, and that is a good job by Shilene Margaret Boysen right about there.
Yeah. Like I predicted, because you've seen. And what I've liked about the second half, the coach just briefed the players the way I thought. They were losing the ball in the midfield, so they were trying to play that penetrative pass in the flanks, and then runs. And that's how they'll score their goals. The goal. It's like those long passes after, because in the midfield, I think that's why even the captain was substituted. She was always giving poor passing. So the coach thought it wise and briefed the players, and the players just came and did what the coach said, and now they've gotten a goal. They were able to defend and they've scored, because for them they were attacking minded, but reaching in the final third they didn't know what to do. So it was credit to the coach, like having seen the game in the first half, just had those good points which she told the players, and the players had to execute that, and they have a win at last.
Shilene right there, living up to the billing of Majid Anant. And yesterday, by the way, I think everything is being followed. Probably even the tactics you've put up here probably got relayed by osmosis. Yesterday we got a message right there from the technical team there. They were wondering why we called Shilene Margaret.
Okay.
They didn't know that before she became Boysen, she was Margaret. And when we sit here, we try to get a lot of info, and sometimes we even talk to the people we talk about before you even know it, and most of the time we know even a lot more than you would expect, because that is the name of the game. Before you come and say things, you have to try and dig more, so that even when you speak little, there is a lot that you reserve. And we always learn on set. Believe you me, South Sudan is very happy. They might not win the last game convincingly, but they have now a chance to play the last game, thinking that 3 points can actually put them through, and that will make it a cracker of a game right there. You cannot underestimate the fact that football is growing in leaps and bounds. And tomorrow, we are going to have another set of games which will decide the other group. Now, the last games, incidentally, are going to happen at the same time to avoid match fixing or influencing of any nature. But here, we shall choose a game to show live, and then the other one will come afterwards. But what I'm very sure about is, because they are happening concurrently, the stadia will change a little bit. Maybe the live game will be at Njeru, and the other game would be probably in any of those. I don't want to preempt anything. The organizers will give you the info, because on the fixture, it is called to be communicated. And as it comes, you will know it. But be sure, if you choose to be at Njeru, you will watch the other game delayed on TV. FUFA TV is there for you, because that is what we have to do. We are not going to talk so much about that. We'll have a lot of time, since it begins at 4, to dissect them. But let's concretize on this South Sudan and Zanzibar. What should Zanzibar do? From what you've seen them doing, where is the improvement? Where do they have to point going forward? Because this is a project that is moving. It cannot stop.
Yeah, unfortunately, when I talked about brilliancy with the players, it happened with our goalkeeper, the save she did. So with Zanzibar, they need to, I think they still have a lot to do, right from their defense to the attackers. Well, Zanzibar might have experience, being that they're even first to play than South Sudan, but I think it's the coaching now, and to coach players to understand the game. Coach players to know exactly what you have to do. When you have 1, 2, 3 players who can do something, you can build on that. But when you look at Zanzibar as a whole, like a team, you find that all players are almost the same. They are playing the same thing. No one is even leading the other, except the goalkeeper was exceptional today. So Zanzibar in our region has a big task to go, and actually they should start working. And then I think they should also copy from South Sudan, being that they are not new in the region as a national team. But for their last game, for sure, they have lost it. First of all, they have lost the first game, the second game even against Sudan, whereby, you know, when they came attacking minded thing, like we can even score, they have failed. So their morale is down, so they just have to go back. Sorry for that it's a national team and had to travel by road. I understand. Maybe they are tired and everything. So for Zanzibar, they need a lot to do in our region, yes. Yeah.
Of course, they might not have a lot of thinking that they can even get a result, because why would Zanzibar even try to spoil Tanzania's party in any way? Because the history between Zanzibar and Tanzania, that would be a miracle. would only depreciate if they are maybe meeting at a final stage. In my thinking, most of the players are playing in Tanzania. The Tanzanians know them so well. If Zanzibar can even upset Tanzania, I don't think any of the technical people in the Tanzanian Federation can stay in. And actually
they cannot, because like Zanzibar was split from Tanzania. I have one of our fellow CAF instructor from Zanzibar, but now she's like Zanzibar Tanzania, because she was in Tanzania at first, but when they separated, she had to go to Zambia. She's called Nasra. So I don't think there's anything Zanzibar can do to Tanzania. And even now, I'm just saying, but it's not allowed in football. It can be kind of, okay, just go. Moreover, we're the same.
Technically, it cannot. I remember the Cecafa days when teams were strong. Actually, you would hear Tanzania Bara, and trying to differentiate between the teams, so that it is Zanzibar and Tanzania maybe because they are separated by a water body, but they are more like the same, and they are so intertwined that you cannot actually differentiate from either.
Exactly, because Zanzibar got a national team from Tanzania. They just split, and some said, okay, I'll go to Zanzibar, I'll stay in Tanzania. That's what I'm saying. The lady I'm talking about, she was a national team for Tanzania, but then after when they split out, she went. So that their game has no meaning. The only games that we are yet to see are others, but with that one, it would be it would be a miracle maybe, and I don't expect such a miracle can happen in football, whereby Zanzibar can beat Tanzania.
You never know. We saw a game where USA was beaten by a rival during the war in 1994. I will not even mention that. Many people would not want to have that history back, but football can happen. But then South Sudan against Ethiopia. They played the bus
Yes.
against Tanzania.
Tanzania, yes.
They almost got a shocker
Exactly.
right there. They have played expansive football today.
Yes.
They got challenges in the first half, but again, they got their way. The strikers tried to get shots, and if it wasn't for the brilliance of Zuena Yassin in goal for Zanzibar, probably the scoreline would have read more. What is going to happen if they meet Ethiopia?
Definitely, South Sudan should go back to the game they played against Tanzania. Because if they give those gaps and spaces to Ethiopia, you can know how they can damage them. So they're going back to the first game approach. The game plan is to play man-to-man, like help each other. And we're not going to see more of them going forward. And because even when the way Ethiopia plays, the way they pass, the interpassing, the combination play 1, 2, 3. So South Sudan's game approach for that game would definitely be defending. It's going to be defensive, having a compact defense like they played against Tanzania. And this time not just, but even to have more, because with the Ethiopians, they are good at that. You cannot just close their gaps anyhow. They'll find a way because they can take it in the flanks. They can play through midfield. They can initiate their attacks anywhere. So I hope South Sudan does not concede more than they conceded with Tanzania, but
of course, even if they concede one, it's gone.
It's
They
gone.
need to win the game.
At least let them say we shouldn't be scored many. We don't have to concede more than 3. So and then they play, but they have no chance.
There is something that you should not ignore. In the Ethiopian lineup are 2 South Sudanese players,
And I
Harriet
wonder-
Adong and Nyabui.
And I wonder
How
why.
are they going to express themselves? Are they even going to appear on the lineup?
And they have
Fortunately, the game is in Uganda. I don't think such a game would happen very easily in Juba. With that history of the government official who came and pulled the wife from the team. I was like, she's just been in maternity. How can you play her?
Yes.
And the game almost aborted. If
Aborted.
you remember that
Yes,
story.
I remember that
I just
story in the
imagine if
league.
Nyabui is in the midfield and spraying passes to Loza Bella, and South Sudan is conceding, or Harriet Adong is playing around stopping Lasso. I don't know the emotions that will happen there.
And one of the dangerous players like Ethiopia has, unfortunately, they changed their citizenship, and I wonder how. Anyway, so it's a game. They are Ethiopians, though they are
Of South Sudan.
Sudan, just like Anit.
Original.
You can imagine Anit playing against us. She would just destroy.
Anit
like,
against Uganda.
Yeah, next against Uganda. She would be one of the best players, by the way. So that is even another
I
disadvantage.
imagine if Annette was playing against Uganda, she would reach a point where she's giving instructions in Luganda, because the attackers will be speaking too much Luganda, and she will forget briefly the Dinka and probably say, Mumaki, go you are.
I know. So it's unfortunate for South Sudan to lose those 2 players. One of the best players on our region, like in this region. But again, they're Ethiopians, and tomorrow they know how the game they're going to play against South Sudan. They know the importance of that game. They want to dominate the region. So there are teams that really know that I'm going to dominate, I'm going to win. It is Ethiopia and Tanzania, but they should take care that Crescent Cranes of this time is also thinking of the same thing.
Much more, the situation is much more like when, in case South Sudan was meeting Kenya, and Lasso. Who spent almost 90% of her life in Kenya, apart from the fact that her parents are actually South Sudanese. The father I told you about was a very good striker in the league, but she grew up in Kenya. Everything, her first games, the teams she has played for are Kenyans. And right now, if she faced Kenya, the emotions will definitely flow.
I know, because even all the coaches, the people who have developed her Kenyans, the school, I remember that young girl even when we are still there. So, yeah, the emotions will come, but still, she's the captain. She would die a little for her country. So for tomorrow, for those 2 Sudanese, I know they'll feel it. They'll say this is our motherland, but what do they do if now they're in business? For the other game they're going to play against the following day after tomorrow. So it's going to be a tricky game for both sides, but I don't think Ethiopia can think so much. Actually, Ethiopia is thinking more of the finals.
Yeah.
Is it Uganda?
Is it Burundi?
Is it Burundi?
That's the beauty of football there, and we shall come back tomorrow with the last games in the group stages, as we see who tops the group and who actually comes second. Of course, automatically then you'll know who is eliminated. That is the beauty of the Cecafa Women's Senior Challenge Cup, seen live on FUFA TV, and we continue to give you more of the live sports. Teno Nikta Musoke is my name. Hopefully we'll be together tomorrow.